Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charleston, and welcome you guys to another episode of the Dreamerspro Show, where we cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and when we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today, we got a show for you guys here today that you definitely want to stick around for. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Now, I've long said that I think that Skip is probably one of the most obnoxious people all out there in sports. And it's one of the reasons people like Charles Barkley constantly go at him, right? Charles Barkley has always said that Skip, his issue with Skip is that he is clearly biased. You can tell who his guys are, and you can tell who the people, you know, he doesn't get along with, right? And it's quite evident. Now, as y'all know, the Clippers got a much-needed win against a tough Memphis Grizzlies team that, incidentally, plays very well even when Ja Morant is not playing. So they're able to get a close win last night, and Russell Westbrook had this big and one play towards the end of the game, and you can see him with all of the emotion and all of the, you know, his intensity, you know, with that and one. And then even at the end of the game, you can see that he was very, very excited, you know, that the Clippers were finally able to get the monkey off their back and finally get that win with him as a, you know, as a member of the team. So then this morning, I'm just kind of going through the news, combing through the internet, and I saw a tweet from Skip Bayless on his page where he wrote, "Clippers finally win a game with Russell Westbrook. ... No thanks to Westbrook." And of course, people started roasting him in the comment section. And I started thinking to myself, I said, but wait, this is not normal. This isn't normal. This is very, very strange. Who in media, think about this. Who in media every single day constantly berates and attacks one player every single day? Who else does this? Who else does this? Who else? And I'm like, this is not normal. And then I remembered something. I remembered that about less than a year ago, Skip Bayless on his show revealed the inside story of when he returned to OKC to cover the finals, of how his relationship and Russell Westbrook really came to a head, and it exposed the real reason Skip constantly attacks Russell Westbrook in the media every single day. But before we get into his comments, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura, who's also the official sponsor of T-Wolves. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards, only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/dreamerspro. And when you try, what we want to do is we want to expose what Skip really thinks about Russell Westbrook, and possibly where all of his constant attacks are coming from. Take a listen to this soundbite here.
Death threats from Thunder fans in my hometown of Oklahoma City. Real, live, hardcore death threats. I thought legitimate death threats, but I passed them along to ESPN security, who came back to me, yep, legit. need to be taken seriously. So as we are about to venture to Oklahoma City, my hometown, they had to hire me a bodyguard who wound up being an LA cop whose primary duty was to serve and protect the chief of police when he went out in public. And this guy I loved. He was a good guy and a bad you-know-what. And he protected and served me in Oklahoma City almost to a fault. But I'll admit it, I was a little creeped out. I was a little anxious, nervous. I am going to my hometown, back to my hometown where I grew up in Oklahoma City. Hail the conquering hero. And they want to kill me. I got messages like, if you dare set foot back in this town, it'll be the last step you take. My bodyguard went everywhere with me. Even I went to see my then 85-year-old mother, her favorite place, North Oklahoma City, P.F. Chang's. Table right near us, my bodyguard. Who's he? Asked my mom. It's just a buddy of mine. No big deal. Not going to scare her with this. I spent most of my time there, holed up in my hotel room in downtown Oklahoma City. It's not a whole lot of downtown there, but downtown at the Renaissance on like the 30th floor. Before the first home game that the Thunder won in dominant fashion, I did a stand-up with my partner, Stephen A. Smith, for one of the sports centers, live, right along the baseline. And as I'm debating with Stephen A., I glanced sideways, and guess who's about 10 feet away, smirking at me and sizing me up? It's Russ, sizing me up, kind of smirking and laughing at me. So you're the guy who criticized me, who dares to criticize me? Ha! And you're in my house? Ha! Didn't do anything more, but he was just sending the message, you ain't bleep. Okay, I got it. So before game one and game two, I don't like to sit out in the crowd because it's just too crazy and people want to say, hey, did you see that? And I got to react. And I just want to lock in on the basketball game and soak it in with my eyes and ultimately my soul. So I go back to my room and just watch it on TV the way you're watching it. But to get back to my room, my bodyguard had to run interference for me to get up to the main floor concourse through the crowd and out the door. So I'm kind of swimming upstream through the crowd and I am taking abuse like you wouldn't believe. F you. Get the hell out of here. Skip, go home.
Did y'all hear what Skip just said? Did you hear what he just said? Skip describes a scenario in which he used to be hypercritical of Westbrook. Apparently, he's from Oklahoma. And he describes a situation where he comes back home to cover the NBA Finals and he starts receiving threats because of the coverage he was giving Russell Westbrook and all of the things he was saying about him in the media. He then also describes a situation where him and Russell Westbrook kind of meet up in the arena, wherever it was, and Russell Westbrook kind of stares at him, smiles, and then walks off. And it seems like Skip, from that day forward, held that against Westbrook. And now it begins to make, and it's starting to make me think that Skip is actually holding a personal grudge against Russell Westbrook because of what transpired back then. That really has nothing to do about reporting or covering the game. That in fact, it's your way of getting back at him for what happened. That at the end, it's all personal. It's all personal. Nobody with a thinking brain would tell you that they don't think that what Skip is doing is not personal. Skip is making it his business to tarnish whatever legacy Russell Westbrook has left. He does it every single day. Let me ask you guys a question. For the people that believe what Skip is doing is correct, what is the purpose of him tweeting? Skip, Clippers finally win a game with Russell Westbrook. No thanks to Russell Westbrook. What's the purpose of that? What's the purpose? What is the end goal by doing something like that? What's the end goal? If you notice now, even Shannon Sharp is beginning to back off. He's beginning to try to distance himself. When they brought in Eddie House to the show and said, he's like, I'm not going to let you talk about Russ and slander Russ's thing. If you notice, Shannon Sharp said, that's not me. That's Skip. That's not me. Even Shannon is realizing, like, wait a minute. This thing is personal. And to me, I think the irony in all of this is the very people that are clapping for Skip to criticize Russell Westbrook were the same people that were angry at Skip for constantly criticizing LeBron. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. To me, I think it just got to stop, man. I think it has to stop. This thing is personal. Russell Westbrook's wife has jumped in and has joined the fray more than once to tell Skip to stop. To me, I think it's personal. No one is going to convince me otherwise. So these are my thoughts and opinions. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comment section. We catch you on the next show.